Jordan McCallie. That's Mitch Balla. Welcome to Cover Your Balls. I hope all of you are covering your balls today on this unbelievable Thanksgiving special. Traffic is late. So am I. I'm Jordan McCallie. That's Mitch Balla. Welcome to Cover Your Balls. I hope that's why that was playing. Sorry about that, guys. What the hell was that?
Technical difficulties today.
Yeah.
It's a tough way to start the show, but you know we are in a food coma right now.
We are. We've eaten a lot of pecan pie, stuffing.
Oh, a lot of stuffing.
You know what I forgot? That wasn't in my top 4 the other day? Macaroni and cheese. My mom makes some bomb macaroni and cheese.
We didn't have macaroni and cheese today. So, Mom, get on that. I know you're watching right above us right now. Also, how was that pecan pie?
It was some of the best pecan pie I've ever had.
That was awesome. If anybody wants to try it, don't, because it was that bad. Mm-hmm. I'll get rid of it. Jordan will get rid of it. My dad will get rid of it. You know, we'll take care of it. Don't waste your time.
Don't waste your time.
Yeah, it's terrible.
No.
It's really bad.
Don't do it.
We have a lot in store today.
We do. We're going to talk about a lot of sports. A lot of balls.
We're going to cover your balls. That's the purpose of the show, is covering your balls, and that's what we're here to do today on Thanksgiving while you're at home relaxing, taking a nap well, not right now because you're watching the show.
Yes.
But which ball should we start with? Or should we do a top 4
at 4:30? Top 4 at 4:30?
Top 4 at 4:30.
Oh, God. What's that? Is that even better than the top 4 at 4?
I think it is.
Okay.
Because we know today's Thanksgiving.
It is Thanksgiving.
And tomorrow is Black Friday.
Is it?
So that's what sources are saying right now. It is Black Friday tomorrow.
Oh, man. Did Adam Schefter break that?
And Chris Broussard.
Oh, my God.
Yeah,
okay.
Both of them. And, you know, they have multiple sources. So
it's a big deal.
Our top 4 at 4:30, or as you know, 4:36. Mm-hmm. Your top 4 items you look for on Black Friday, or that you've ever gotten on Black Friday.
Top 4 items I've ever got on Black Friday. So, guys, a lot of years I didn't go shopping on Black Friday. But one year when I was a kid, I started shopping on Black Friday. Let me tell you about this one time I went out of all the years. I got a Game Boy. Game Boy was by far the best purchase I've ever had on Black Friday. And not only was it the best purchase, but the other times I've gone Black Friday shopping were all for Game Boys. Whether it was the Game Boy Pocket, Game Boy Advance, I have all the Game Boys. So every Black Friday, for like 4 Black Fridays, I got a new Game Boy. So.
Oh, man.
What's your top 4 at 4, my friend?
My top 4 at 4?
Yes.
So you're saying 4 Game Boys?
Yeah.
Top 4. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, does it have to be what I've gotten, or like if I know my parents got it on Black Friday, and, you know, we got it as a gift? You know, I make the criteria up here.
You do make the criteria.
So we're gonna go. I mean, I'll do both, because PS3 was definitely up there. That was a want, necessity actually.
Sam, heartbreak.
That is true heartbreak, because I know I'm gonna try to get a PS5 tonight. It's not gonna happen because it's
heartbreak.
impossible. It's impossible.
It's unbelievable.
It's impossible. But
how does that work, by the way? The PS5. So everybody's been talking about this. Like, why can't people buy this? I don't understand.
It's a scam.
What do you mean it's a scam? How much is this thing? How much is a PS5?
Which one?
What do you mean which one?
There's 2 options.
What do you mean? There's two options. This isn't like an iPhone 12. There isn't a big one and a small one.
Oh, but there is. How
are there multiple ones?
There's the digital version and the non-digital. Do you want to have a disc like insert area where you can watch Blu-rays? You know, I know big Disney guy.
So one PS5 has a butthole and the other doesn't.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
And so that's the difference.
The one that doesn't.
So you
is
can
cheaper.
shove things in the one PS5,
yes.
but the other PS5 you can't.
Yes, correct. I want the one.
So there's a prude PS5.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, this makes sense.
So see, there are 2 options.
Yes.
So I'm just trying to get the $400 one. Apparently, everyone.
$400. Oh.
I just know they don't smoke like the new Xboxes have.
Well, all I know is I bought an Xbox 360 the other day, guys, to play college football 2012 with Mark Ingram on it. I'm on my 7th season as the Idaho Vandal coach. You know how much I paid for that Xbox? $90. That's $310 less than a PS5 that you can either put things in or not put things in. I'm not sure which model this is.
Well, I mean, it's $310 if you're getting the one with
$310.
No, well, $310 difference if you don't want to push things.
Okay,
in.
gotcha.
If you want to push things in, it's $410.
Gotcha.
Depends how type of a high roller you are.
Gotcha.
But so I'm gonna try for that, but that's heartbreak, like Sam says.
It is.
Sam's a loyal listener of the show. Glad he's watching us today.
I'm glad he is too.
Go Flashes, Sam.
Sam, it's nice to be your friend.
You know, I'm just gonna give you a 2 because number 1, was when my parents got us a Wii when the Wii was hot. Remember when the Wii dropped? Everybody wanted the Wii.
Yeah, I remember I remember when you guys got it. Bowling was a big thing.
Oh, bowling was a major thing. And they surprised us with that on Christmas morning. But they got that on Black Friday at Sam's Club.
They did.
And that was probably the most electric Christmas morning because we had no idea we got it. And then I just took everyone to school in bowling and baseball.
And just make sure, yeah.
So that's our top 4 of 4.
And it is top 4 of 4. If you guys can't, make sure, I've never put a mic in between us like this, so if you guys are listening and you can't hear us, just let us know. We'll change the sound on this. This was a spur-of-the-moment thing between us instead of doing 2 separate shows at 2 different locations in Canton. So we want to make sure, if you guys are going to watch, that you can hear us.
And see Clint.
And see Clint, of course.
Clint's.
Let's get Clint a little more love. There he is. There.
We had Barry for you last show. Now we have Clint this show.
Yeah. So let's hop into this.
We
have a lot to get into.
We do. And so let's start with the NFL. Where do we want to start in the NFL? Well, I would say let's preview the games this week.
Yep. Let's go through them.
But there might not be some games this week. Because of why? COVID. The bitch.
COVID.
Either way.
COVID's back.
We already saw the Steelers and Ravens get postponed tonight. They
Yeah.
were supposed to play at 8:20 on Thanksgiving night. They will now play Sunday at 1:15 in Pittsburgh. We saw Pittsburgh's not happy.
No.
Rightfully so. This is twice now this year they've gotten screwed.
Mm-hmm.
First with the Titans losing their bye week.
Which ended up changing their bye week for the whole season. So
Right.
instead of getting a bye week later in the season, which you would definitely want as a veteran team for many reasons, you had it when you really didn't need it.
Right. I mean, I believe it was week 4 or 5.
Yeah.
So it's right at the start of the season.
Yeah, which is a huge kick in the nuts. Luckily, they have arguably the best organization in football.
And
so,
the best head coach. And, yep, you're right. But either way, what are your thoughts on this? I mean, the Steelers obviously have a right to be upset. The Ravens are getting lucky to get more time to prepare. Chance to get some of their key guys back. We knew their starting 2 backs in Mark Ingram and J.K. Dobbins were out because of COVID.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what are your thoughts on this?
I think this really favors the Ravens, and go with me on this for a second. So the NFL said weeks ago that if they had to extend to a Week 18 typically there's 17 weeks in an NFL season, 17 including a bye for every team. If they went to 18 weeks, what they would do is they would add a extra playoff team on each side in the NFC and the AFC, which would mean no bye for the first seed, and it would also put teams like they probably thought like teams like the Browns or teams that maybe wouldn't have a chance in the past would have a chance. Well, what this is going to do is if this game gets canceled Sunday, which we have sources that actually think that it will be canceled, like the game is going to be canceled probably by tomorrow. What that'll do is they'll add that game to Week 18. What will that do? Well, it's not going to help the teams like the Browns because the Browns are actually in a much better position than the Ravens are right now. So this might give the Ravens, because if Pittsburgh played the Ravens today, if they would have played tonight, the Steelers no doubt beat the Ravens. And it's a home game.
And you could have bet the house on it.
Yes. I think I feel like the over-under was like almost a touchdown, which is huge for that game.
Yes.
And so what this might do is they would have been 6-5 had they lost. 2 games back of the Browns. They play the Browns again. I have no doubt in my mind the Browns can beat them.
Oh, absolutely.
No doubt in my mind. Because where the Ravens are poor at, the Browns are not poor at. The Ravens are very poor at tossing the ball around the field. The Browns are really bad at defending the pass. So what the Ravens do the best, we do the best, which is dominate the line of scrimmage.
Correct.
So that also might get them back in they might see themselves in that spot. And it puts the Steelers in a rough spot, too, because now they might not have a bye. So they've been playing for a bye for all this time, and now they might not have it.
Have they gotten screwed once with the Titans,
yes,
and now twice with the Ravens, they might get screwed a third time.
Yeah.
And not to mention them not getting a bye and playing into Week 18, which could matter with a 1-game difference between them and the Chiefs.
Yeah, it's
ultimately huge. Could kill the Browns because that means the Steelers would have to play their starters still.
Yeah.
If you're looking at it right now, the Browns would have a Steelers who are more than likely resting their starters in Week 16 or 17.
And so check this out, too. The Steelers game got done later, you got to remember, Sunday, because they had the 4:15 game, which later flights, later travel with all the stuff they need to do. Well, no, that game was in Baltimore, was it? Was it in Baltimore?
The first time?
Second, yeah. So never mind. But anywho, they had a game later, so they already had less rest. So now the Steelers, since they're giving the Ravens a little more time to rest now, they can't be happy. Say the Steelers lose, and now we're looking at a tie atop the AFC, and it's I mean, that's a big deal. That's definitely a big deal because you don't have home field advantage from the playoffs. And honest to God, those first two teams, the Steelers and the Chiefs, are probably going to meet, which means that game, in particular, that head-to-head game, would be an away game. And so that game would be huge if the Ravens end up beating them on Sunday.
And especially if it's Kansas City, where they're 25% capacity in Kansas City. Steelers are allowing, I think, just 5,000 fans right now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there is a huge difference. In a year where there hasn't been difference much, there's a massive difference when it could come down to those two teams going on the road.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Hopefully they get the game played, and we're Steelers fans this week for the Browns' sake.
Oh, we definitely are. Hey, Shannon, we're with you. Yeah,
we are with the Steelers this weekend. But in order for us to be with them, that means the Browns would have to play this weekend. And right now, the Browns have had their facility shut down for the third time this week. Defensive end Porter Gustin going on the COVID reserve list. Another Brown testing positive with symptoms. It's not like these are fluke pop-ups. We have multiple players with symptoms now.
Yeah.
Are you confident the Browns are going to play this Sunday after not having been able to install a game plan in person or practice in person yet to go over their game plan?
Yeah, that's I think they're in good enough physical condition, so I don't think anybody could make the take that, hey, we're putting our players at risk. Not having a game plan doesn't necessarily put you at more physical risk, because they've definitely been working out physically. Not with the team, but on their own. They're just not going home and hopping on, trying to call in, eating Cheetos, looking for a PS5. They're still working out. They're getting ready for the game. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that you're eating Cheetos, but I'm saying you're sitting there.
It's barbecue chips.
It doesn't matter. But it makes a big difference. I don't think they'll play. I think this Ravens deal is a big deal. You know what I thought about earlier today, which we haven't really thought about? We have a new president starting January 1st. So say we get all down through this list. How Browns would it be for the Browns to make the playoffs and then the season gets canceled because, the new President Biden decides to shut down? And you know what? Yeah, that could not only happen, because I was thinking about college basketball, and I was like, college basketball will go before the NFL. The NFL, there's been all kinds of tests that people don't even know about, but the NFL has just kept plowing through.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's not like baseball. They're a lot more lenient, and they look past a lot more shit.
Well, they've looked past injuries for years.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, that's how you know they don't really...
Concussion, Will Smith. What does he say? Tell me the truth.
Megatron retired because he was tired of the opioids.
Tell me the truth.
So you look at that, but those are two games that are highly in question this week.
Yeah. Do you think they're going to play?
I don't think the Browns will play this Sunday.
Mm-mm.
And that pains me to say, because they were supposed to go up the almighty third-string greatest of all-time quarterback, Mike Glennon, who got benched in Tampa, signed with Chicago, benched for Mitch Trubisky. Nick Foles, Trubisky, Denver Jackson. I mean, he's bad.
Yeah.
So, although that might have saved the Browns because they don't play good against bad quarterbacks. So,
no.
But let's go ahead and go through the rest of the NFL schedule this week.
Let's do it.
And let's pick the teams we think are winning.
All right.
We'll start with the 1 o'clock games. Texans, Lions already happened.
Yeah, which I already had the Texans.
I had the Texans. If you had the Lions, you're a moron.
So we're 1-0.
We're 1-0. Yeah. We're 1-0. I mean, like,
you are a moron.
You're a moron.
If you would, yes.
I mean, how many times do you have to watch them on Thanksgiving and get disappointed by them year in and year out? There's one thing I know.
Or just get disappointed as a Lions fan in general, because the Lions blow every single game. So even if they would have had to lead today at any point, they were going to lose because they're the Lions.
And Matt Patricia's their coach.
Yeah, Matt Patricia, the fighting Matt Patricias. What other games we got?
We're 1-0. Game 2 we got going on right behind us. That is the Washington football team at the Dallas Cowboys. I'm taking the Red Rocket and the Dallas Cowboys. Andy Dalton's back. Zeke at running back. 3 wideouts.
They played well the other day.
They did.
He had a really good game.
He did.
Despite how good Washington's defensive line is, which is they're probably maybe the second best defensive line in football. Like you can make a case for. I would say they have a chance, but I like the Cowboys.
I like the Cowboys.
A lot of momentum.
Unless the score comes on behind Washington's winning, I might change the pick. But
I agree.
Either way, next If they do play Jordan, the Browns at Jacksonville. The Browns finally getting out of the hurricane weather, going somewhere warm. It's supposed to be 74 right now.
They're 100% going to win. Mike Glennon is if the Browns play, despite the Browns maybe not having Denzel Ward, not having Myles Garrett again because he's officially out.
And not having his backup now, which is Porter
Yes.
Gustin, another defensive end.
Yes.
So, I mean, he's officially out.
The Browns, there's a ton of people at other positions too. I mean, it's actually the least amount of people we've had on the roster for an actual game, which is not good. And I still like the Browns because the Jags are that bad. Honestly, I don't think they'll win another game. I mean, they've had a rotation of 3 quarterbacks, so like nobody on that team is bought into who their quarterback is, and that's what it takes for your team to play well is for you guys to buy into your quarterback. People don't win with, weak ass quarterbacks.
Seneca Wallace.
Like Ryan Fitzpatrick, not a great quarterback, but he's a person you can buy into. So you're going to play hard for him because he's your friend.
Brandon Weeden.
No, not Brandon Weeden.
Not Brandon Weeden.
Not Brandon Weeden.
Brady Quinn.
No, not Brady Quinn.
Not Brady Quinn?
No, not Brady Quinn.
Jake Delhomme.
No, not Jake Delhomme.
Okay, so
not Tim Couch, not Kelly Holcomb, not Charlie Fry, not Jeff Garcia.
Oh, so nobody we've had to play quarterback for the past 19 years?
No, not
besides Baker?
Not any Browns.
I don't know what a good quarterback is.
I don't either. Josh McCown, too. I forgot about Josh.
Good old Josh.
Raiders, Falcons.
This is an easy one.
Is it?
It is.
Is it?
It is. 1 o'clock on the East Coast. Go Falcons.
You like the Falcons.
I like the Falcons.
You like the Falcons.
Yep.
You're out of your mind.
First
the Raiders.
I mean, hey, listen, my sweater says stay wild, so I'm staying wild.
Wow, that's a terrible pick. The Falcons got bullied on Sunday. They got beat by a guy who's never started a NFL game and who has thrown less than 15 passes in his career as a quarterback. And the Saints beat them all over the field.
There was no film on him, though. I mean, I'm sure
he had over 200 passing yards, and all he does is run the football. But how does he have over 200 passing yards? I have no idea. I love the Raiders. Derek Carr's a really, honest to God, he's the top. You could probably make a case for him at top 5 quarterbacks right now. He's super undervalued. He does not turn the ball over, and he makes very wise decisions with the football, and he has a good arm. I actually think he's a top 5 quarterback. I like the Raiders running away.
I'm just taking the Falcons just because I'm a Browns fan. I got to root against the Raiders.
Fair enough.
All right. Well, next is the Chargers at the Bills. Chargers traveling to the East Coast.
Okay.
Sunshine at quarterback, Justin Herbert going into the cold weather in Buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
Chargers have lost a lot of close games. Record's a little deceiving. Blowing a lot of leads though. Josh Allen's been, dare I say, an MVP candidate.
Oh man, that might be your worst take ever. Worst take ever. Anybody listening right now, which there's 2 of you, I see you. Josh Allen is not only not an MVP candidate, he's an average quarterback at best. And his height isn't even top 10. Even at his peak in games, he's not a top 10 quarterback.
He's better than Derek Carr.
No, he's not.
Yeah, he is.
No, he's not.
Yeah, he is. Better than Derek Carr.
I like the Chargers beating the Bills.
Oh, my.
I think Justin Herbert goes in there and he shreds that defense, and I think he has a cannon. I take the Chargers over the Bills in Buffalo.
And you said
Put it on your calendar.
My Falcons pick was
Put it on your calendar. Put it on.
Well, the Bills are going to win. Bills Mafia.
Telling you.
Josh Allen throwing to Stephon Diggs all day. Sam's guy in fantasy football. Yeah, Bills by 2 scores. I'll take it. Next is the nail biter of the week. One of the 2 nail biters of the week. The New York Giants at the Cincinnati Bengals.
New York Giants at the Cincinnati Bengals. Well, that's Giants by maybe 2 touchdowns. I think that, honest to God, might be the widest margin of any of the games.
I agree.
Giants and the Bengals.
Yep. I don't think it's any question we're both taking the Giants.
Yes, 100%.
We're not even going to spend any more time there because the Bengals are a dumpster fire.
But the game of the week.
The real game of the week.
Real game of the week.
The Tennessee Titans at the Indianapolis Colts played each other. It'll be 21 days ago on Sunday.
Yes.
And it's a big one for the Browns. It's a big one for their seasons, for playoff implications, and who wants to be the leader of the AFC South.
Yeah.
And it's in Indianapolis. Colts won in Tennessee. Who do you like?
Who do I like in that game? Honest to God, it's a toss-up. If I were to put money on this game, if I could pick a game for the whole week where I didn't have to bet on and give my money away, I would not bet on this game because I think this game has 2 of the best teams in the NFL, and at their best, when the Titans do what they do at their best, and the Colts do what they do at the peak of what they do best, I think these are 2 of the top 5 teams in the NFL. I think that's because the Colts defense is the best defense in the NFL, arguably, when they are on, and they are on way more than they're not. I mean, they got outscored 28-14, and there was a big pass interference call that gave the Packers another touchdown going into the halftime. The Colts came out, and they forced, I'm pretty sure, 4 3-and-outs in that second half.
Yeah.
They went into the break 14, and then all of a sudden it was 17 points straight, and the Packers, that was after 2 or 3 possessions. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I think when the Titans are running the ball well, they run it better than anybody else, even the Browns, because I think the guy who's running the ball is one of the biggest humans ever, and we saw it last year. That's why I actually took the Titans a month and a half before they beat the Ravens in the playoffs, and I texted you that.
You did. I
said if they meet in the playoffs, that's going to be a hell of a test, even though the Ravens were 15-1. Just because sometimes it's styles. It's kind of like UFC fights. Styles make fights, and these. It's a toss-up. I take the Colts, though. I think a better defense always beats. And I don't know. The Titans haven't been excellent on offense much, so I'm going to take the Colts because they can get to the quarterback, which takes their ability to do their. They love the play-action pass.
I'll have to agree with you there. I'll keep it short and simple.
I'm sorry. That was my game of the week.
You're allowed.
Yeah.
I mean, I could go on about it. You hit everything there is to say about it. I think the Colts will win just because their defense is better.
Yeah.
They already have the confidence to go up against them, but there's one thing I know: it's don't count out Mike Vrabel as a head coach and his team.
Yeah.
It's going to be a great game. It really is. I'll be shocked if this is won by one team by more than a score, more than one touchdown. I'll put it that way. I think it'll come down to fourth quarter for sure, but I'll take the home team, which is going to hurt the Browns in the long run. But looks like we're both rocking the Colts.
Oh, absolutely.
Panthers at the Minnesota Vikings. Keep in mind the Vikings are still alive.
Yeah.
For a playoff spot in the NFC. Panthers not really, but I mean the Vikings. This is a big game for the Vikings, especially after dropping what most people thought was a easy win over the Cowboys last week.
Yeah, who you got?
Teddy B's back. Mm-hmm. Panthers can fire on all cylinders, but Christian McCaffrey's not back. It's not a primetime game, so Kirk Cousins will show up and the Vikings will win.
All right. Well, I don't know if you know this, but Adam Thielen's out for that game this Sunday.
I didn't know that. Which
changes things big time. However, Dalvin Cook is alive and living well.
And he is not out Sunday.
No. So I take the Vikings, but I think that will be a plus. I'd say within 3 or 4 points. Mm-hmm. I think that'll be a close game.
It'll be a very close game.
Yeah.
One that might not be close, but if we know anything about the Patriots, they can stay with the better teams, and they play the Arizona Cardinals this week. And Kyler Murray coming off that loss on Thursday Night Football. I'm going to take the Cardinals here. I just think they'll travel to Foxborough and knock off the Patriots, who are struggling right now. What about you?
I think you're 100% right. I think Kyler Murray bounces back from last week and has just an unbelievable game. Not that he played poorly last week, but in the big moments where they needed him the most, he wasn't really there. And if he can just be anything that he was last week, he doesn't even have to play great this week to beat the Patriots. And I think if he plays great, I think they end up winning by many touchdowns like you do.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. The last one of the 1 o'clock games on Sunday will be the Ravens at the Steelers if this happens. I'm going Steelers both in a rooting interest and they're the better team.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. I don't think that these 3 or 4 days are going to make a difference. The Ravens if this game gets played, which we don't think it will, but if it does get played, the Steelers are so pissed off right now because the Ravens organization hasn't even put the guy's name out. Well, I guess it could be a woman too, but it's probably a guy because guys are morons. That this dude wasn't wearing his mask in a lot of team activities. Now, it wasn't a player, but it was either a coach or a facility member who interacts a lot with players. So, and they haven't released his name. And when the Steelers got caught and they got fined and they got dragged through the mud, I don't know if you know this, but yeah, they put out everybody's name. And the fact that they're not putting out the names are why Joe Hayden and other players are getting on Twitter and they're bitching because they want to know who this guy is because this is what they do for a living. Imagine if somebody did this and then you couldn't go into work for 2 weeks. Like, that would be a big deal. Well, imagine training and you really only work, like, you have a test or a paper due each week and you do work for 6 days and then you can't either turn in that paper or take that test. Yeah, I'd be pissed too.
I'd be pissed too.
Right?
I'm going Steelers. Yeah, easy. Both rooting and they're the better football team.
No doubt.
The 4 o'clock slate, there's 3 games. The first one's going to be the Saints at the Broncos.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say Saints, but the Broncos we saw last week just threw something at the Dolphins that they weren't ready for.
Yeah.
Playing in Denver is different. There's no doubt about that.
Yep.
I'm going to take the Saints because they're the better football team, but I won't be shocked if the Broncos somehow pull off another upset.
This seems like a trap game for the Saints.
Yeah, exactly. That's where I'm at.
It really does seem like a trap game because people forget about the Broncos defense. But what they should know about the Broncos defense is that when the Broncos defense are on, they're probably arguably the best defensive team in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Von Miller's still there, right?
He's out this season, though, but they're still putting up those type of numbers.
I know.
Oh, yeah.
I know.
He's still there.
My point is, he's like, when they're at their best, they are the best, and he's not playing. I'm saying if they had him, but even without him, they're getting it done because they're just a really good coach team.
Mm-hmm.
And they do have athletes. I mean, they do have Bradley Chubb, right?
Yes, they do.
Yeah, who the Browns should have gotten, but I'm not going to go on that soapbox. I think it's a trap game. I like the Broncos. I think they figure out what Taysom Hill does well, and I think they take it away. He tried to throw some interceptions last game.
He did.
They just didn't want to catch the ball. I got the Broncos.
Okay. Niners at the Rams. Rams 7-3 right now, leading the NFC West.
Mm-hmm.
This is in Los Angeles. I like the Rams. The 49ers are just not a good football team this year. Injuries have killed them. COVID's hurt them. I'm going to take the Rams here at home behind their scary defense and more than likely Defensive Player of the Year frontrunner, Aaron Donald.
Yeah, I think Aaron Donald definitely wins Defensive Player of the Year. I mean, their defense is right there with, the Steelers and the Colts.
Mm-hmm.
They have one of the better defensive teams in the NFL. And they're hot right now. Sean McVay's doing a really good job. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see them get out of the NFC this year. I think that they're that good. And I think that they're finally coming together. I feel like as long as Jared Goff doesn't turn the ball over at an alarming rate, he can turn the ball over. But even if it's not multiple turnovers in a game, I think they can. I think they're good enough to overcome a turnover. Because you got to remember what happens when you turn the ball over. If the defense doesn't score on that, like if they don't return a fumble or an interception, your defense has an opportunity to come out and stop them wherever the ball is. And I think the Rams can do that. So I don't think many teams, even if he turns the ball over, I think the Rams can stop that.
I agree.
So, yeah.
100%. We'll both take the Rams. The second game of the week, Kansas City Chiefs at Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
Dare I say must win for Tampa? They've looked sluggish in two of their last three games. The win in Carolina was pretty reassuring, but Tom Brady has not looked like himself against two of the elite teams in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're talking about the most prolific offense in all of football going into Tampa Bay in the Chiefs and Pat Mahomes. This is going to be a great game, but I'm going to rock with the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs ultimately will show up for this big game, and they'll take down Tampa Bay, and it's going to raise a lot of questions up. A lot of eyebrows are going to rise because of Tampa losing two of their last four, and then also falling deeper in the wild card standings.
Well, this is definitely a game of the week. The only reason I wouldn't put it above the Titans and the Colts is because the Titans and the Colts is for a division. Even if the Bucs lose, I think they'll still make the playoffs as a wild card team because it's not as deep over there. And if the Chiefs lose, well, they're going to win their division anyways. But this is the game of the week because these are the two. This would be the game we want to watch. Mm-hmm. Like I would rather watch this than the Colts.
Absolutely.
Because there's a lot of things behind the scene of passing the torch and the fact that Brady needs this for his team to believe in him.
Absolutely.
He needs this. At least that's how I feel. I feel like he really needs it. And do you think Patrick Mahomes is going to lose Tom Brady? No way. No way.
He lost to him once, but that was because his defensive lineman didn't know a snap count.
And if he... Yeah, and you know what? The Super Bowl where the Rams, blew it versus the Patriots, if both teams got the ball in overtime, who says New England's better than the Chiefs that year? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they couldn't stop Patrick Mahomes.
Right.
Yeah, they have to fix that rule.
They need to go to the college rule, or at least assure each team gets possession.
They 100% because it's not fair. Of course, you're gonna that's not. Yeah, it's not. That's just not fair.
It's not fair.
No. That's not what America's built on. America's built on equality, and everybody who's listening knows that.
They do know that.
Equality. You know,
college football can
equality
see that.
of opportunity.
College football is all about equality.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. We'll get to college football and their equality in a minute. NCAA.
After we talk about Sunday Night Football, the mighty Fighting Trubiskys at Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers. Another defense that's pretty solid against one of the best quarterbacks in the league. I'm going to roll with the Packers. Aaron Rodgers is not going to lose 2 straight weeks.
Yeah.
So I think Packers beat the Bears Sunday night.
Yeah. A lot of people who are on a lot of different networks actually think the Bears are one of those teams where on any day they have the best defense. I'm very curious to see the Packers try to bounce back. I mean, there was one year, I think it was the last year with Brett Favre when Aaron Rodgers was a rookie. I'm pretty sure they went 13-3, the Packers did. And they lost to the Bears both times that year. And the Bears won like 4 or 5 games. You know, divisional games are tough.
Oh, yeah.
They're so tough. If the Rams, if they weren't in the same division, the Bears and the Packers, I think this game's a lot wider, but I think this game is actually going to be really close. I got to take Aaron Rodgers. I can't pick the Bears.
I can't either. Not with that quarterback.
You can't, Nagy can't outcoach somebody with the quarterbacks he has.
No.
There's just too big of a gap at quarterback.
Just imagine how much worse it'd be if his quarterback was Carson Wentz, who
God.
plays on Monday Night Football in Philly against Russell Wilson, the Seattle Seahawks. Now all of America will get to witness how bad Carson Wentz is if they haven't. I mean, some people probably still won't turn this game on because this is a runaway win for the Seahawks. Seahawks are going to blow out Philly. It's going to be time for Jalen Hurts in Philly. I'll go on record and say that right now. It's already time for him, but the media will be calling for Doug Peterson's head.
Wow. I think we're really going to see the Seahawks look like a dynamic defense this week. Not just because of the Eagles being so poor, and we have to also remember that when they were playing against the Browns last Sunday, that was their 9th different offensive line, which you're not going to be successful with, probably 4 or 5 by this point, let alone 9. So Carson Wentz is playing bad, but I honest to God think he's being coached into the ground. I've had time to think about how bad Carson Wentz is, and he's atrocious. Part of why he's atrocious because I don't think he has a coach that keeps him accountable. I don't know if you hear this goon in press conferences.
Oh, I've heard him.
But
I've heard him.
Shit, it's rough. I'm like, you won a Super Bowl? You out-coach? And then I'm like, oh, that's right. You won that Super Bowl because of Mark Wright, who's the coach of the Colts, and he's not there anymore. Yep. It's Mark Wright, right? Frank Wright. I'm sorry. I said Mark, and I was like, that doesn't sound right. Yeah, Frank Wright. And so I think Doug Peterson's a clown. And I think a lot of the mistakes Carson Wentz is making is based off of just philosophy of how to play the position. And I think Doug Peterson, he takes a lot of chances with his play calls, and I think a lot of his play calls basically pigeonholed Carson Wentz into having to hold the ball long enough for something to develop. And they also have most of their wide receivers, even though what's his face just came back, Alshon Jeffrey. Their best wide receiver is still a guy on the practice squad, Fulgham.
Yep.
So he's atrocious. But after thinking the other day on Thursday, I think Doug Peterson's worse than Carson Wentz now.
They're both terrible.
They're both
terrible. I mean, they both fireable offenses. One gets fired, the other gets benched.
Oh, no doubt.
But do you want to run down our projections right now for the playoffs?
Yes, let's do it.
I'll throw it to you first. You want your AFC or NFC side first?
Let's go AFC.
Okay, so give me the final 7 teams. Keep in mind, we're not going to go for 8 right now because it hasn't been assured that it's going to happen.
I'm going to name the division winners first, and then I'll name how the seeding will go. And I'm just going to go through 7 because I think if they can make those games happen this weekend, they'll do everything in their power to make them happen.
Absolutely.
And so, with taking in mind that I know that they don't want to lose money, that's how I'm going to base this off of. The Chiefs are going to win their division. I think their division ended up being a lot harder than anticipated. Mm-hmm. I necessarily didn't believe that Drew Lock was going to be it for Denver. And I also, because he just didn't, he showed, at the end of the season, last 4 games in particular, he showed a lot of, something to be hopeful for. But, God, how many times have I been hopeful with the Browns with quarterbacks? Because I've watched so many Browns quarterbacks play 4 games well, and you need to see them over a bigger sample size. Plus, he was really young. So even though you could say, well, he had a lot to improve on, so you take how good he was and expect him to be better, that's not always the case at all. But I still think that division is pretty good. So the Kansas City Chiefs won that division. I'm sorry. I'm going to have the Colts winning their division, which is huge. And then I'm going to have the Steelers winning their division. That puts, I'm forgetting a division, the Bills winning their division. I'm going to have the Browns making the playoffs, the Titans making the playoffs, and the Ravens making the playoffs. Or no, I'm sorry, the Raiders making the playoffs.
So you're taking the Raiders over the Ravens?
I'm taking the Raiders over the Ravens. Yes, Ravens, my bad. Yes. Where does yours differ?
It differs with the last team getting in at 7. I think the Ravens will get in.
Okay.
I'll say it until the end of the year until they prove me wrong. I'm not sold on the Raiders yet. I know they've shown up for some games, but it's just a team that I can't see winning after what I've seen over the past years. Steelers going to be 1.
Okay.
Chiefs 2. I do think the Colts win the AFC South. Bills win the AFC East. I have the Browns getting in.
All right.
I think the Browns and Titans, that winner of that game in 2 weeks will be the 5 seed, loser 6.
Gotcha.
And then I have the Ravens getting the 7 seed.
Okay.
So I think the Ravens will lose.
So you think the Ravens get in still?
I think the Ravens get in at 10-6. I think they lose 2 more games. They'll lose to the Browns on Monday Night Football and the Steelers whenever they play this game.
Okay, which would put a Chiefs-Ravens matchup, which would be – because that's pretty much what it looks like right now. I mean, the Steelers realistically could go 16-0. Mm-hmm. So the Chiefs, we're looking at them probably being the 2nd seed, right. Realistically.
And that's incredible to say at 15-1.
Yes.
That's assuming they went out, which I wouldn't be shocked if they went out, but I think there's a legit chance happens. But could you imagine Lamar Jackson getting embarrassed by Pat Mahomes?
Oh, he's going to get embarrassed.
Again?
He's going to get embarrassed. I love Lamar Jackson, and I hate the Ravens. They're my least favorite team in the NFL, even though I respect them a lot. And I like Lamar Jackson. With that being said, I really just don't think he's a long-term option at quarterback.
I don't either.
And it's not because – I mean, it's just because of how he passes the ball. I still think he's a starting quarterback, but I don't think he is on a franchise – like, if you want to win the Super Bowl, I don't think you can win the Super Bowl with him. And it's no disrespect to him. I don't think James Harden's going to win an NBA championship. No. I just think I don't think Russell Westbrook will. I think some people just won't. I just don't think their style is championship caliber. And no disrespect. And that would be an intriguing first-round matchup. We'd have Browns-Bills and then Colts-Titans.
Those would be 3 great matchups because I think the Browns and Bills are pretty even teams. Colts-Titans for round 3, and then Ravens just getting curb stomped by the Chiefs again, per usual, which we've become accustomed to.
It would be the most intriguing playoff to first round in the AFC. I think this way.
Completely agree. So you hop over to the NFC. The NFC, the teams are pretty set in my opinion. Like we said, the Bears and the Vikings are kind of vying out there, but they need some help along the way. I'll start. I have the Saints getting the 1 seed. I think the Saints, the defense they have when they choose to play is solid. Mm-hmm. Not top 3, top 5, but Taysom Hill looked pretty good for first week. Granted, it was against the Falcons, but we'll see what Sean Payton has drawn up this week. I just like the Saints. They're a well-coached team. We talked about it with Sean Payton on our last episode. He's a good coach, gets players in his system and everything. Mm-hmm. Packers at 2. I think they win the NFC North. Seahawks, I think, will come away in the NFC West. I think they'll end up winning it. Mm-hmm. And then I think the Giants are going to win the NFC East. Mm-hmm. I think they're the best team in that division still.
I think they are too.
The Rams get a wild card spot because they're a damn good football team.
Yep.
Tampa Bay does get in at 6. I have them as the 6th seed. It'll be the Rams at 5. And then I think the Cardinals will get in at 7. I think the NFC West is going to have 3 teams, like the AFC North will have 3 teams in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Do you have anything different?
No. I mean, looking at the list we have, that is your list based off of mine because I just have mine off the top of my noggin. That is almost identical to what I have, but I guess to give a slight rationale, I was way off on the Saints. I talked about the Saints earlier in the year. And I think sometimes, like, we do this with LeBron, where you're just assuming that his success is eventually going to end and it's going to stop. right? And you're like, well, he has to suck sometime, and we're doing that with Tom Brady right now too. And we're trying to make it sound like Tom Brady sucks right now, and he doesn't suck.
He doesn't suck.
He's 7-4, and he's made more mistakes than he ever has, but he doesn't suck.
He doesn't suck.
But we're just so critical of Tom Brady, and we're so critical of him. And I was very critical of not just Drew Brees, because Drew Brees, I think, what I've said about Drew Brees is right. I think he does look old, but sometimes you undervalue coaches. And I just really undervalued the Saints coaching and I feel like I forgot of how successful they are. When like somebody, have you ever seen one of those movies where it's like, these guys forget who I am? Like, some people like, and it's kind of like that. And I think I just forgot. So shame on me. I was way off on the Saints. I think they are actually the best team in the NFC, and you have them winning their division. I think they're the best team. The Packers, I have winning. If they lose to the Bears,
that's a whole other can of worms.
Well, yeah, because the Vikings will be, if they win, could be 5-6, and that's that could be really interesting. I think the Packers need this game Sunday, but I think they're going to win their division. The Seahawks are going to win their division. Huge win against Kyler Murray and the Cardinals last week. That was just enormous. The Buccaneers are going to be a wild card team along with the Cardinals and the Rams. I mean, that's the exact list I have. The Vikings were my dark horse team, and I hate that they lost last week because they should not have lost that game. They just lost grip of it late. They could have been 5-5, and could be right there to make it. I don't think they're going to now. Outside looking in for sure, but that's what I have, which puts a matchup, Mitch, possibly if we're looking at from the top. It's probably going to be maybe Saints-Cardinals to open it up.
Well, Packers-Cardinals.
Packers-Cardinals, which could be a really interesting matchup, that could be a game that I actually take the Cardinals.
I could see it.
Yeah.
It's going to be really intriguing. I think the AFC has more teams on the outside looking in right now that have a legit chance than the NFC does, but we'll see. We'll come back and visit these, as the season goes on, and see about our picks next week. But now, I think we should switch it up.
Oh.
And let's head over and talk college football.
Ooh, college football?
College football.
Are we talking about college football?
We're talking about college football.
What are we talking about?
Hey, switch it up.
College football.
College football. Hold on. I don't think that was loud enough.
Hey, switch it up.
Wait a minute. What was that?
Hey, switch it up.
That's right. Let's switch it up. All right.
College football.
The men won it.
We have
the men won it.
Well, let's before we get there, let's talk about the college football playoff rankings that came out.
Yeah.
Okay. The chat is blowing up right now, and for good reason. But I don't think that Oklahoma is a good college football team. I'll say it. Their game's postponed this weekend. They're at 11th in the college football playoff rankings. No, they won't make the playoff. They're way too high. They're ahead of Indiana, who's a better football team in my opinion. I said we were going to go through the standings. I'm not. Let's answer the chat. Does Oklahoma make the college football playoff this year?
If Oklahoma made the college football playoff, college football should be done for the year. If they make it, I'm not watching anybody throw another football for a full calendar year, and Cover Your Balls will pick up next Thanksgiving. However, if for sure quality losses,
lost to Kansas State.
For sure quality losses. Kansas State's a great team. I can't imagine them getting in.
There's no way they get in.
Oh no, it could be.
COVID.
What if there was a rule that you have to take one team that's lost 2 games, and one of those games has to be the Kansas State?
And a team that doesn't.
I know those are pretty strict parameters.
But and we're also talking about a guy who's probably 100th in the Heisman rankings, and that's Spencer Rattler, because he's just not a good quarterback either. So no, he's not winning the Heisman. No, not a chance. Master Teague III has a better chance of winning the Heisman. Dustin Crum from Kent State has a better chance of winning the Heisman. Spencer Rattler, he got benched to Texas. You know who coaches Texas?
Is it the great and powerful Tom Herman?
The worst coach of all time. Tom Herman.
The guy that said, I'm the reason Ohio State had success. I'm going to go get my money.
And did you realize that ever since he left Ohio State, let me check. Oh, yeah, they're still successful.
Yeah.
Is Tech – well, no, because Texas isn't back.
No,
they
they're
won't
not.
be back. They'll never be back. They never have been back, okay?
Yeah.
Texas can just shut up, disband their football program because their head coach is terrible, and Sam Ehlinger is even worse than Spencer Rattler.
I've never seen a quarterback talked up so much coming into the season. And, he's not hot sauce. He's hot garbage. I'll tell you that.
The best video is him saying Texas was back after, bowl win a few years ago.
I'm not going to lie. I love that. I love when someone just puts their entire junk on the table and just says, hey, average or not, this is it.
And he did that.
Oh, he did it.
And then he came back, and they're still not back. So, yes, that is correct, Noah. You heard us. Texas is not back, but let's talk about the college football playoff rankings now. 1, 2, 3, and 4 were the teams we thought, but the rankings a little out of order than we thought. Bama at 1.
Yep.
Notre Dame at 2. I think you and I agreed those were the top
Irish.
2. You and I had Ohio State at 3. They come in at number 4. Clemson, with their one loss to Notre Dame, comes in at 3. Mm-hmm. How do you feel about that?
Clemson at 3?
Yeah.
I think they're better than Ohio State. I think that it's still bad to put them in front of Ohio State for the sheer fact that you're setting a precedent that it's okay, to put a one-loss Power 5 school in front of the Big Ten, who's arguably the second or third best conference, and their best team who's undefeated. I don't know how you do that. I think you almost have to put Clemson fourth right now, and I think you can maneuver it later to where you slide Clemson and Ohio State around. But for right now, I think Clemson has to beat Notre Dame to be third. But that doesn't mean I don't think that they're the third team right now. They're not deserving to be third, but I think that they're the best team.
I agree. When they're
if
healthy,
that makes
when
sense.
They're fully healthy and COVID doesn't hit their team, I agree.
Yes.
I think that the committee comes out and shows you that they're valuing the ACC teams more so than any Big Ten. I mean, they almost lost to Boston College.
Yeah.
We won. Those guys played. We watched that game. Ohio State beat 9th-ranked Indiana in the shoe.
In the shoe.
I mean, granted, the defense was suspect, but
it was more than suspect.
They beat a ranked team.
They let a guy throw 500 yards. And I think that's the kicker, though. I'm not saying that's goes against Ohio State. I'm saying Ohio State is so good that they had somebody throw for 500 yards against them, and it never looked like they were going to lose.
And they're, at the time, Heisman frontrunner throws 3 picks.
Yeah, and you know what? I wasn't even surprised about that. That's not even what surprised me. What surprised me is that, oh my gosh, Indiana doesn't have close to the athletes Ohio State does. So to see them just get destroyed in the open field was unbelievable, because you would think we would be so much more fast and physical on defense. But I think you really got to see. I know. I saw the Dabo hates kids on the comment board, and I couldn't keep a straight face.
I'm looking at the next comment from Sam asking for dating advice.
Oh, well, we'll get into that to the questions. They can call in.
We'll address that here later in the show, maybe at the half-hour headlines.
Yeah.
But, so we go through the top 4. Thank you, Sam, for contributing to the show.
Yeah, thank you.
The first 2 looking in.
Yeah.
Texas A&M, Florida.
Yeah.
A&M ahead of Florida. They already beat Florida this year.
Oh, a minute. Does Florida still have the great and noble Kyle Trask?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow. He's so good. He's not even a top 10 player on his team, but he should be a Heisman winner? No?
No.
Oh, the 6th man of the year is going to win MVP this year. No, that's not how it works. Sorry. Thanks. Keep going.
Should those 2 teams be ranked ahead of the best non-Power 5 team in Cincinnati? Cincinnati's looked pretty good this year. They're not going to play this weekend.
It's all because of Skyline Chili.
Oh.
You know, if Skyline Chili didn't come out of Cincinnati would be ranked above Texas A&M and Florida. I think it's Cincinnati's fault.
It is. I agree.
They really weren't thinking about that when they brought it into town, but they did, and that's a big deal. No, in all honesty, though, are you surprised the lack of respect? Because, I mean, that's 2 SEC schools.
I think they're showing their SEC bias again.
So you're saying that the third SEC school is better than two more ranked teams that are ranked just below them, ranked teams that haven't lost a game, and then Georgia's 9 again? That's 5. Is it 5 or 4 of the top 9? It's 4 out of the top 9.
Which is ridiculous.
I think Georgia has a top defense. I just think their offense is despicable.
Very. Northwestern coming in at 8. That surprised me, but they got a big win over Wisconsin last week. Wisconsin, who had looked good through the 3 games they played because of COVID. But Northwestern comes in at 8 at 5-0 right now, looks to be the winner or the front runner for the Big Ten West.
Yeah.
Potentially meet Ohio State in the Big Ten championship.
Yep.
Too high, too low, just right.
Just right. I mean, they've played 5 games. That's only 3 less than the top teams have played. Mm-hmm. So I think they've played enough games. They haven't gotten any of their games canceled, and I really hope that they don't get any games canceled. I think it's just right.
Okay. I agree with that. We said Georgia at 9. Miami, who in my opinion is way too high at number 10. I think they're a very overrated team. It showed when they played a good team in Clemson this year.
Yeah.
I don't know how you feel about them. I think that's too high. I think Oklahoma's too high. I think both those teams and Georgia.
I'm just not sure how Indiana's ranked behind Oklahoma.
I don't know how Indiana's ranked behind Miami and Oklahoma, and maybe even Georgia. At least Georgia's 2 losses have come to teams ahead of them. Indiana's only loss, and it was a close loss, was to the number 4 team in the country.
Yeah.
And they've dropped them behind a 2-loss Oklahoma team. Quality losses, of course, quality losses. I don't like that. I don't like the fact that Iowa State is behind Oklahoma.
Well, I mean, Oklahoma, we were already thinking, like, hey, is Lincoln Riley, like, if he loses another game already, which would be his 3rd game, and there's a lot of openings in the NFL, does he leave just now? Mm-hmm. Because, they don't look really good. Granted, they have a pretty young team. Does he go? That's the conversation we were having is when they played Texas, right? Does Todd Herman need that game to not get fired? Like, there was so much controversy with Oklahoma and Texas, and now all of a sudden I look down and they're not playing good football, and one's ranked 11th and the other one's ranked 17th, and they have 4 losses. They're 10-4. How are that doesn't make any sense to me.
One is ahead of an undefeated BYU team who's 9-0, a team that's looked pretty good. Granted, they're an independent school. Have played some really, really bad football teams. But they're taking care of business in convincing fashion. And BYU at 9-0 comes in at 14.
Yeah.
Which I think is a slap in the face to them. I think BYU is a good team. But 14th, in my opinion, was a little low.
What's their best win, though? They don't have, a notable win.
North Alabama.
Exactly. So, yeah, I don't know what to say. That's Our Ladies of the Poor. Congratulations. That's who you beat.
They're at least taking care of business. That's all I'll say. I mean, hey, listen, if Oklahoma can't show up against Kansas State, I'm not saying Kansas State is North Alabama, but
it's a big of a challenge of me brushing my teeth in the morning as it is playing North Alabama. So BYU's just right. They have a drink limit in that entire state for 2 drinks. I'll go over it again. I don't care that I already went over it. That's why you can't rank that team in the top 10.
So you think that's why they're 14?
I think that's why they're 14.
All right, then it's just right.
Yeah.
I'll agree with you there.
Okay, thank you.
Really, no other sleepers. The non-Power 5 teams clogging up the last 5.
But Coastal Carolina, that's notable, is that they're 20th. I've never seen Coastal Carolina in my lifetime ever ranked in the top 25 in football, so that's a big deal.
Absolutely.
And how about Mac Brown getting North Carolina back ranked? They're
know.
6-2. Mac Brown, one of the better coaches of all time. He's definitely on the probably outskirts of my top 5. Maybe number 7, I think, when I ranked him the other day.
And he's done it so quick.
He has done it really quick.
Second year at North Carolina, and they're relevant again.
Yeah, he's done it a little quicker than Les Miles in Kansas.
And Tom Herman at Texas.
Definitely Todd Herman at Texas. He's really failed that program.
But those are the college football rankings. Is there one team out of there that you think's too high or too low?
If I had to pick, picking the verse, looking at the list, it's nice to see Marshall, back in the fold. They were good about 50 years ago, and then that plane came down, and they weren't a really good football team anymore. Just to be honest. Just being honest.
You're not wrong.
The herd, But it's good to see them back. I'm going to say Coastal Carolina because they are really bad. And I love how they try to throw some of these conferences in there. just when they're undefeated, but the rest of their conference is so bad that there has to be one superior team, and Coastal Carolina decided to just take over that.
Yeah.
I don't think they're very good. I don't think they should be ranked. I don't care that they're 8-0 at all. Zero respect. Just like the respect people have for BYU, like that's non-existent. I at least respect them. And you know why I respect them more?
Because they don't have a drink limit?
No, because they had Jimmer Fredette.
Oh, we were talking why you respect. I thought you were.
Oh no, that's why I respect BYU more than I respect Coastal Carolina.
They did have Jimmer Fredette.
They did.
You know who else they had?
Who?
Sione Takitaki.
Sione Takitaki. High or low? Who should move?
All the Pac-12 teams should get out, in my opinion. Just they've played 3 games. There's no way they've looked convincing enough to be ahead of some of these other teams.
Now, can I ask you a question about that? So a question we had Thursday, guys, is where would the playoff committee put their what did they value the most? Was it did you get points taken away in your evaluation for playing less games? Like Notre Dame's played 8 games and Ohio State's played 4 games. So maybe the committee actually thinks Ohio State's better than Notre Dame, but Ohio State hasn't played as many games as Notre Dame. And so don't look at these rankings and think, well, they think Clemson or Notre Dame are better than Ohio State. You got to remember that the reason they may be there is because we don't know how much they value less games than more games yet.
I've watched USC. USC, in my opinion, is not worthy of number 18. They don't look good. But there's one team in there I like the ranking, and it's going to help another team out, and that's Tulsa at 25.
I actually like Tulsa.
Tulsa plays Cincinnati again, and then they will meet each other again in their conference championship. So Cincinnati has a chance to get 2 big-time wins to improve the resume. So for Cincinnati, that's good. To have a team crack into the top 25 that you're going to play twice.
It is good, but Tulsa, if they would have lost, if Tulsa would have lost to Tulane, and we all saw how Tulsa beat Tulane. If Tulsa loses that game, Tulsa loses 2 games. And that's not like Georgia or Oklahoma. Oh, it kind of is. Oklahoma's losses aren't like Georgia's. It's not like 2 losses in the SEC. Those are 2 losses in what division is Tulsa in? I don't even know. I can't even think the American Conference. Maybe
I think it's American.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I think it's the American Conference. So it's totally different. So the fact that Tulsa is gonna, if that would have been their second loss, so I don't know how much you can value those wins if Cincinnati does beat them twice. However, it is hard to beat a team twice.
Absolutely.
No matter how good you are. So.
Absolutely. So that goes, or that does it for the college football playoff rankings.
Yeah. What time is it?
Hey, switch it up.
Time to switch it up.
And it's time for the headlines.
Headline news with Mitch Bella.
Pretty weak headline list today, but Jordan, our friend, good baseball player, Randy Arozarena, who we talked about Tuesday, was arrested for domestic violence.
He was.
He was released today.
That's a good thing.
So congratulations, Tampa Bay Rays fans.
Honey, I'm coming home. He's going back to his family.
Well, he's not going back to his girlfriend. I don't think.
Not to her.
Not to her.
No.
Probably not her.
No, not her.
It said they reached an agreement.
I'm coming back home, but not to you.
Not to her.
Not to you.
It said they came to an agreement today when I was looking through the headlines. So there was that. We saw Deshaun Watson torch the Detroit Lions earlier.
He did.
Not much to talk about there because the Lions are a bad football
team. The Lions
team.
are terrible.
Right behind
I'm really tired of seeing them on Thanksgiving. It really takes my joy. Like, can we stop putting them and the Cowboys on? I'm tired of seeing 2 teams that suck. And then I have to listen to Troy Aikman and Buck for hours.
And right behind us now for the half-hour headlines, we have the Cowboys against the Washington football team. Washington's driving right now at the 10 inside the red zone. It is 2nd and goal, but we don't care about that because those are just really bad football teams.
Yeah, but what if Alex Smith came back and led the Washington Redskins to a divisional title after being out? Wouldn't that be a crazy headline?
Story,
yeah, you can keep rolling. I just thought about that.
That's a great.
Let's keep rolling.
Yeah, as long as Jerry Jones is sad.
Comeback player of the year.
As long as Jerry Jones is sad, that's all I care about.
Fair enough.
So I brought up some Thanksgiving facts because there's nothing going on.
Can you tell me your facts?
Yes. So the first Thanksgiving was actually celebrated in 1621 over a 3-day harvest festival. Would you want to be there for that festival?
You know, if you think people were scandalous now,
imagine with no media around back then.
Exactly.
That's all I got.
Exactly. It would have been a party. I got to erase this from there. 16. Go ahead.
Did you know turkey wasn't on the menu at the first Thanksgiving? It was
No.
actually duck and goose.
That's interesting.
And oysters and lobsters.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so why are we eating that at Thanksgiving?
I don't know.
Who said turkey? I mean, what the?
Hey,
What if I want a galley boy?
I actually Galley Boy from Swenson's. I actually didn't even eat any turkey today.
I ate a lot of corn
I
casserole.
ate a lot of is it broccoli casserole?
Okay.
A lot of other things.
On October 3rd, 1863, Abraham Lincoln proclaimed Thanksgiving a national holiday for the country.
Wow.
So shout out Abe Lincoln. I don't have to work today.
Shout out everyone.
Shout out Abe Lincoln. And then we'll get one more in here.
Shoot your shot.
There are 4 towns in the United States called Turkey. They can be found in the states of Arizona, Texas, Louisiana, and North Carolina.
Huh.
It's kind of wild. You
That
didn't know
is wild. I did not know
And
that.
you learn something new every day on the Cover Your Balls podcast.
What a weird fact.
I just covered your balls.
He did. Yep. No need to wear that cup every day anymore, honey.
No cup checks necessary.
No. Let's roll.
That was today's really poor half-hour headlines.
That's okay.
Okay, so let's switch it up.
Let's switch it
All
up.
right, we'll switch it up.
Yeah.
Last talking topic.
Hey, switch it up.
And I believe you have the rankings over there. I think they're under the college football playoff rankings.
I do.
Let's talk some college basketball, which tipped off yesterday.
It's back.
I believe I heard somebody say it's been 272 days since the last college game.
Yeah, isn't it weird to think that there's no national champion last year? So, like, I was thinking about that, like, earlier. I was like, oh, my God, who won last year? And I was like, oh, yeah, that's right. March Madness didn't happen. That's right when I almost said the domestic incident happened. Yeah, but it wasn't that. The pandemic happened because, yeah, there was, I know a couple track teams that were at like nationals and they were in the hotels getting to walk to the races. Like it was just about to start and they were like, yeah, you can't do this anymore. And then that's when they canceled that. How crazy is it? It's been that long.
It's been nuts. I mean, I remember sitting in the Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse getting ready to broadcast the MAC championships and then it gets canceled.
Oh man, I saw that. Yeah, I saw that on social media.
It got canceled right away. It was like, oh.
I was pretty bummed for you. That would have been really fun.
That would have been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Talking Maction, the Zips, the Flashes. Right, Sam? The Flashes?
Yeah.
No Dustin Crum was there, though. But this is the preseason top 25. Gonzaga apparently is far and away the best team in the country.
Yeah.
They just got another guy that transferred and that was named eligible yesterday. He was a top 5 recruit.
How does that work?
I don't know.
Good timing, NCAA.
They're paying.
At least they're going to let somebody play as opposed to holding people out. I guess it's that way. I guess I'd rather it be that.
There's still plenty of guys they probably held out for no good reason. But your top 5 is Gonzaga, Baylor, who actually got 24 first place votes.
Yeah.
Villanova at 3, Virginia at 4, Iowa at 5. The first Big Ten team. There are 7 Big Ten teams in the top 25.
I haven't seen Iowa ranked that high. Maybe ever.
Do you know why?
I don't.
They have the preseason player of the year. Groza is his last name. He's been there for a couple years now. He is a dog.
He's that good.
He's going to be.
I haven't seen Iowa ever ranked. Definitely never ranked preseason this high. This might be their highest preseason rank, maybe in like 40 years or something. Because I know they used to be pretty good.
Yeah, it's high.
Yeah, that's wild.
So you aren't sure about Iowa in the top 5. I mean, what about?
But I'm not sure about the whole NCAA. I don't even think the experts do. I mean, even if Jay Bellis was sitting in this seat, he'd be spewing out bullshit just like I'm spewing out right now. Nobody really knows. Making assumptions based on what we think might happen, but like there wasn't even a season last year, so who knows how good any of these people are? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I watched Austin Rivers score like 37 points in an NBA basketball game. Like I don't know how real the bubble was. Like you know what I mean? Like there's some things that happened this year. I'm just like I don't know.
Yeah.
So like some of these teams, it looks good. Like Illinois ranked 8th. Last time I saw Illinois ranked in the top 10, like. Was literally back in like 2004 when they almost beat Sean May in North Carolina. Like that was a long time ago. That was when they had Darren Williams. Yeah. Like it's been a long time. And so I don't know. Like when you see Creighton ranked 11th to start the year in some of this, it's gonna really be interesting to see how it looks in a couple weeks after some of these games started playing. And the Buckeyes were on last night.
Buckeyes played Illinois State yesterday. They actually started the game on a 22-0 run.
That's unbelievable.
Illinois State did not score for the first 5+ minutes.
I don't care who you're playing. That's unbelievable.
That's unbelievable. Ohio State's 23rd in the top 25. Rutgers and Michigan 24-25. The other Big Ten teams, Michigan State is 13th. Like you said, Illinois 8th. Iowa 6th. So the Big Ten has a really strong showing in the preseason top 25.
Yeah.
Iowa, I don't know if you saw, or I'm sorry, Illinois won 97-38 yesterday and hit a boatload of threes. I mean, I think they were up top in the rafters and making them. They could not miss from three yesterday.
97-38.
97-38 was the final score. Although they did play Chicago State. That's like Ohio State playing
Cleveland
Cleveland State.
Yeah, I didn't realize Chicago. Yeah, but at least Cleveland State's pretty notable. I didn't even know Chicago State existed. No, honest to God, that's the first time I've ever. Yeah, I've never seen that logo in my life. No, I swear to God, that looks like it was made like by a fifth grader on Photoshop. Like I've never seen that logo. Nobody would even want to copy that logo for their school or anywhere. That looks awful. Can we show this? Oh, no, it's on your computer. Oh, my gosh. Everybody right now, go look up Chicago State's logo. It's a green cougar. I don't know what the hell it is. It looks terrible.
It looks like somebody in kindergarten made
it. Yeah, so that's why, yeah, you lose by 59 just because of that logo.
I agree. It's a bad look. Guys, go look at it.
I'm sorry.
Another fun fact yesterday was that, from our stat man, Sam, apparently. Sam is a guy of multiple talents, if you haven't noticed yet.
He is multi-talented.
Cracks jokes, asks great questions, and provides stats. And so it looks like right now, through one day of college basketball, it's going to be like college football. There's not going to be defense played. 71 of the 98 games yesterday hit the over. So if you're betting.
71 of the 98 games?
71 of the 98 games played yesterday went over.
That's unbelievable.
And that's a good fact to know when you're betting.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm not betting anymore.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, that's okay. You can still bet on the game, just don't put money on it. And you can still, as men, we have enough pride that you could write it down, not put money on it, and you would still find yourself being like, God damn it, because if something happens, you know what I mean? Because we want to be right.
Right.
And it's about being right. It's not about making money. It's about looking at everybody and saying, hey, yep, I did it again. And when you can't say I did it again, yeah. So just write it down. Don't lose any money.
I need to do that this weekend because I lost a lot last weekend. Thank you, Melvin Gordon. You bum.
Yeah.
You're a bum. All right. Anyways.
Hold on here. I'm sorry, but this doesn't have the South Carolina women's program on it. I had put this up like people could see what was on this page. It looks like the sun. I'm sorry. South Carolina's women played yesterday. They had how many rebounds, Mitch? Do you know? Take a guess.
A lot.
73. They almost had double the amount of rebounds of the team they played yesterday. And I'm pretty sure the team was like a notable team. It wasn't like a crazy team.
I'm pulling it up for us.
The other team's best player was 4 for 21. And South Carolina, the girls won 119-38. That's why I'm bringing this up.
Over Charleston.
Check this out. The South Carolina girls had 4 girls or 5 girls that had a double-double. If a girl has a double-double in college basketball, she's the best player on her team. If two teams are, obviously like similarly matched.
4, you're right. They had 4. 2 starters and 2 bench players.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. I saw that and I said, I've never seen anything like this in my life.
In your first game of the year, dropping 119 points?
Yeah, that's unbelievable. This is, the Charleston Cougars aren't, they're still a college basketball team.
I know.
So I just thought that was ridiculous.
They embarrassed them.
Yeah, they did
absolutely embarrassed them from start to finish. We'll go back to men because we talked about the rankings, but we didn't talk about the biggest game of the day yesterday, which was number 1 Gonzaga playing number 6 Kansas, and Gonzaga getting a 12-point win, 102-90. I don't know what to think.
Defense is a lost art.
Defense is a lost art. We know that. If we're going off the rankings in one game, Gonzaga might be the best team in the country.
I never want them to win because of Adam Morrison and his mustache. I don't care what happens this season. I just don't want them to win.
They won't win. They won the 1 year, which is fine. They'll get in and choke per usual.
What do you mean they won the 1 year?
Gonzaga?
Never won.
Yeah. They won a couple years ago.
Oh, no, they didn't. Not in my mind.
Oh, not in your mind? Okay.
Not in my mind.
Sorry. I won't bring that up again then.
They've never won.
Sam the Statman, can you check on that for us?
I don't think Gonzaga's ever won.
I thought I'm
almost positive.
Almost.
Don't Google it. You'll be disappointed.
I probably will be disappointed. I'm not going to. Yeah. I'll leave it up to Sam the Statman.
Sam the Statman. If you could Google that for us, be the Google master. I don't know. I just don't ever want because Adam Morrison won the best player of the year over J.J. Redick his senior year. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. So I know why you're hurt.
I was pretty. J.J. Redick's my favorite player. So yeah, I was pretty upset about it.
He's a good player.
Yeah.
He's a really good player. Ohio State played yesterday, like we said, against Illinois
They
State.
did.
Won 94-67.
Yep.
Only guy I really care about is former Jackson Puller Kyle Young.
Yeah.
Kyle Young put up 8 and 8 yesterday.
Nice facial hair.
Great tattoos, by the way.
Yeah.
Sleeve, beautiful. And Sam the Statman chimes in, 2017 national champions for Gonzaga.
I don't even remember that.
You don't want to. That's all there is to it.
Gonzaga men?
Yeah, Gonzaga men. Because they busted my bracket because I probably had them going out in the first round.
Man, have I really not paid that much attention to college basketball lately?
Oh, he said JK.
I didn't think they won. Man. Whew.
Sam's full of jokes, guys.
Whew. I was like, wow.
Either way, I'll ask you this question.
Yep.
Is the Big Ten the best basketball conference in the country?
No doubt. I think, I don't think a team like the people who pick these rankings, I don't think they're going to be that wrong. Especially when there's so many Big Ten teams in it. I think there's 6 or 7 Big Ten teams in it, which is unbelievable when you think about it. No, yeah, there's 7 teams they have in it. Because we forgot Wisconsin. So they have Iowa, Wisconsin, Illinois. So that's 3 teams in the top 8. They have 4 teams in the top 13. Like, that's unbelievable. And then they go 23, 24, 25. That's unbelievable. And I bet you over-under on Michigan's basketball team being better than Michigan's football team.
100%. I don't know you can put the over-under at 1. I'll take it. Michigan football's a joke. We didn't even.
Yeah.
We don't need to talk about that again.
Oh no, we don't need to talk about that. But that game is coming up
on Comedy Central.
That game is coming up on Comedy Central, and I bet you, even though the pandemic's still happening and it hasn't gone away. That's one of the only reasons why I didn't think some of these coaches would get fired. I think if James Franklin, and this is the last thing I'll say, I think if he loses this weekend, his ass is out by Monday.
Oh, I agree. Wholeheartedly agree.
Jim Harbaugh could lose, and he's going to still be there. Not that makes it any better, but I don't think he'll be there. No way.
I think they're just, I don't know. I'm actually excited to watch that game.
I am too.
There's the chance
I'm going to watch it.
There's a chance Ohio State might not play. We didn't even touch on that. They had a COVID outbreak.
I honest to God would watch that over the Ohio State game, even if it's on.
I will, just because of how bad it's going to be. The teams might look good because they're both so bad.
Oh, no doubt.
So I'm excited for that. But, Jordan, unless there's anything else you want to touch on from college basketball.
No, I think we covered it all.
I think it's time for our final segment of Who Has Bigger Balls?
Who has bigger balls? And guys, following this segment, we are going to actually take some questions. So if you have any questions, go ahead and get them ready, because as soon as this segment's done, we'll go through some questions. But
who has bigger balls?
Who has bigger balls? Does the Ravens organization have bigger balls for not disclosing the moron who was doing many activities within team facilities while being around the players? They're not going to tell us his name, even though they've basically put everybody else out there who's made a mistake. Do they have bigger balls? Or does the committee have bigger balls for leaving teams like Cincinnati so far behind teams like Florida, who has Kyle Trask at the quarterback position, and we know how I feel about Kyle Trask, and the Texas A&M Aggies? Who has bigger balls, Mitch?
It is the Baltimore Ravens organization, in my opinion, for not releasing that name, because everybody else this year that's gotten in trouble, the names have been released. You know about the conduct that's been violated, and the NFL stepping in to punish them. We have no idea what's going on with the Ravens. The Ravens are sweeping everything under the rug. I think they have bigger balls because I still think Cincinnati on the outside has a shot to overtake the committee and prove they belong ahead of those teams.
Yep.
But so for me, the Baltimore Ravens have bigger balls.
I think you're absolutely right. Like I said before, I'm not really sure how the committee is going about ranking their teams, and I'm going to try to not be as critical on the committee as others have been on the committee because we don't know, and they don't disclose how they look at every team from every different angle. Later in the year, after picking those top 4, they will disclose some of that information on how they came to that conclusion. But they're not, it's not their job to walk us through their decisions right now and tell us, baby step us, this is why we did this and this is why we did that. That's not their job. Their job is to give you the top 4, and that's what they did. And there's nothing we can do about that. So I think the Ravens organization far and beyond, because that is some some bullshit for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's going to affect other teams in the NFL, which isn't right.
Oh, no doubt. No, it's going to affect a lot of them. So we're going to see how that plays out. And, that's my favorite segment.
That is my favorite segment, too.
Yeah.
But now we're going to go into a new segment. We're going to take some questions.
Yeah, we're going to take some questions. I'm going to go on Instagram Live, too, right now. And we're going to take some questions.
And we missed some earlier. I think we should probably scroll up and, look to see what Sam and Noah were putting in there. There were some pretty important questions, it seemed.
For sure. If you want to go live together here, we can go ask these questions. Guys, go ahead and start putting your questions in if you want to here. And we're going to go at this right now and do this. And, man, does anybody else hate this new Instagram as much as I do right now? It sucks. I can't figure out how to do anything on it. But as soon as we go live here, guys, I'm going to go ahead and introduce. How do I send it to you to go live with you?
Oh, I think you just end up tagging me.
Okay, so go live first.
You won't want to do that, though, because we'll echo. So you go live.
I know, but I can turn off the sound.
Okay, yeah, true.
The sound's off.
So right away, we have Sam asking for his dating device again. Jordan, I'll let you handle that.
Yeah. Well, Sam, I'm going to walk you through this. Oh, and Noah has puppy advice. Hey, guys, on Instagram, we're going live with questions right now on anything sports related. And if you have any questions, go ahead and chime in and ask whatever questions you have, whether it's about the NFL, college football, college basketball, whatever questions you have right now, sports related. We're going to do this. So you were right. We're echoing.
I'll leave.
But we're taking it down. I got it now. We're good. So we're going to go ahead and take it. So let's go with Sam first. Sam, dating advice. Well, I'm not going to lie to you. I think I did find my franchise quarterback recently, Sam. I finally hit my first year anniversary. So, even though this isn't sports related right now, Sam, I will answer that. And everybody coming in on Instagram right now, anything NFL related, NBA related, we're taking questions right now. So come on, Andy, I see you coming in. Bugay, Tammy, I see you guys coming in. Any questions you have? Dating advice, Sam. Hinge is a great app. It's not Tinder, okay? It's not Bumble. It gets the job done. If you want a nice lady who you can take out, get to know, that's how I've dated somebody for over a year now. It's pretty fantastic. Found my franchise quarterback. Moving on. Puppy advice, Noah. Puppy advice?
Just got a puppy. Bentley, he's 8 weeks old today, actually.
Hey, okay.
Beautiful.
Happy 8 weeks, Bentley. That's a big deal. Potty train that mother. You got to potty train him.
Here's a quick. Oh, I just
got to
lost
potty
something
train
for
him.
you. I was going to say I had some pictures for you of
Yeah.
Bentley. Cute pup, rated 10 out of 10, good dog.
Andy, I am not doing this for 9x, or I wasn't. Now I am doing this for 9x.
There's Bentley right there for you.
Oh wow, that is a really cute dog, Noah. Get him potty trained. Get him house trained, get him broken in. Make him your best friend right now. Yep, we got Blake coming in. All right. Blake, any sports-related question? NBA, NCAA, anything? We're taking it. Yeah.
Well, I just wanted to chime in for Sam. I think a good place to go when you're looking for somebody in a relationship is Chick-fil-A. I think there's a theory there about women you see at Chick-fil-A, and I just think it's a solid place to go to. So, Sam, obviously don't go there Sunday because then you're going to really be hurt when nobody wants to talk to you. But I'd go to Chick-fil-A if I were you.
That's good because the Holy Ghost will be between you and your date, and so to keep everything kosher. And that's what we're about here on the Cover Your Balls podcast.
Absolutely.
That is live right now on YouTube. If for anybody, we have a few people in here right now. So for anybody who wants to watch this live, Noah has a question. Early Coach of the Year college football. Mitch, I'll let you take that.
Not Jim Harbaugh.
Not Jim Harbaugh or James Franklin.
It's not either of those guys. I'm afraid it's probably going to be Brian Kelly. If Notre Dame runs the table, I think it'll be Brian Kelly as Coach of the Year, or
I like that. I agree with that.
Luke Fickell.
Or Luke Fickell.
I think those are the two front runners right now for Coach of the Year.
Okay. Wow. I think Luke Fickell is probably going to actually end up winning it. I'll take Luke Fickell too. Sam and Blake asked similar questions. Is Baker Mayfield going to be a long-term Brownies QB? And Sam, is Baker Mayfield better single? Should he get a divorce? So, I didn't realize that's what it said. I thought they were like the same question, and I glanced. We're going to go with Blake's first. Sam, we're coming back. Is Baker Mayfield going to be a long-term Browns QB? Go ahead.
Yes.
Because we've talked about this.
I say yes. I mean, you can definitely still have doubts about it right now.
No doubt.
Considering four coaches, different systems. I think he's shown some glimpses this year from his 2018 rookie year.
Yeah.
Which gave us all this electric energy over him. It's still in there. It's not gone. And I really think next year is when it'll take off. I'm hoping it'll take off this year, but I think next year for sure it'll take off after having a full offseason under the system. I think Baker's the guy. Yeah. He was the guy I wanted. I've been high on him since we drafted him, and I'm going to ride or die with 6.
I think you're absolutely right. I think Baker Mayfield is a franchise quarterback. Now, is he a top-tier quarterback who should get paid $35 to $40 million? Absolutely not. Like I said on our show Tuesday, I think that we should sign him for 2 years, $25 million a year. I think he's worth that. I mean, I don't think he's worth more than Teddy Bridgewater, who just got $21 a year.
A lot of money. He got paid.
He did get paid. No doubt he got paid. No doubt. All I'm saying is I think that you need to see Baker for 2 more years under one head coach. He's had 4 head coaches. So how can you expect anybody to do well in anything if you don't have consistency? It's like expecting to get good in any sport but not practicing every day. Like consistency. So that consistency is really important. Sam, is Baker Mayfield better single? Should he get a divorce? You know, I understand why you say that, because if you look at if you look at his entire resume, Mitch.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it shows, but
I think Sam asks a very valid question.
But we don't promote divorce here on the Cover Your Balls podcast. And for anybody who's listening live right now, you can go to YouTube, type in Cover Your Balls. We are live. We've been live for the last hour and 22 minutes. Every Tuesday and Thursday, we're live at 4 p.m.
Today was a little different. Holiday weekend, had the food in there.
We were eating a lot of food.
But I do want to address Sam's question.
Go ahead.
I think it's a valid question. We don't promote divorce, but
we definitely don't promote divorce.
You look back at college, Baker won a Heisman before he was married, put up all these numbers. 2018, his rookie year, really comes onto the scene and gets married. Down year. I think it's very...
I get it.
I think there's a legitimate question to be asked there, Sam, and I think that he might want to have a divorce.
Oh, wow. That's a strong opinion. We're going to go, I think, Tammy has a question. Do you see Bo Poland going D1 or D2 in college? Well, that's an easy answer. Absolutely yes. Do you know Bo Poland's parents? Yes, he's 100% a D1 athlete. That's not even a question. Plus, I've seen Bo play sports. He's an athlete. There's no doubt. What else we got?
I was going to say, I don't know who that is. But
anybody coming in right now, we're taking, we've been live for an hour and 23 minutes. This is our show every Tuesday and Thursday at 4 p.m. on YouTube. Any NFL questions, NBA questions, any questions you have about the playoff race that's currently taking place, go ahead and type them in, send them over. What?
We do dating advice too.
Apparently we do dating advice. Yeah, you know what? I just started turning my franchise around recently, so I don't know if I can answer any questions like that. You know what I mean?
I mean, hey, but you're turning it around. That's all that matters, right?
Yeah,
the Browns are turning it around. You're turning it around. I mean, it's all that matters.
I got my buddy coming in. Taylor, happy Thanksgiving, boss. Cowboys win today. Do Cowboys win today? I like the Cowboys. What are you laughing at? What's the question beneath it?
No, I was looking at the other chat on YouTube.
Oh, my God. They asked the same question about Freddie Kitchens. Hold on. We're going to get to that in a second. That's hilarious.
Oh, my God.
Do Cowboys win today? The Cowboys win, no doubt. I like Andy Dalton, the Red Rocket. Did somebody just fall through our ceiling?
No, but they're losing right now.
Oh, they are losing. Well, yeah, I can't look at this. Yeah, I think they definitely win. I think they actually... it's going to be between them and the Giants for that division.
I agree completely.
Yeah. I got my buddy Kyle asking, is Freddie Kitchens still at the Thanksgiving table?
And then we had Sam asking if Freddie Kitchens is a future Hall of Fame head coach.
No, because he's still at the Thanksgiving table. But are we talking about, is he still at the table eating? Like, and that's why he's not going to be in the Hall of Fame because that's all he does? Or, like, what does that mean?
Yeah, we need more context.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good question, but given the other question
Kyle, give us a little more context because I'm really interested to see where you're going with this.
Sam, no. Freddie Kitchens is not a future Hall of Fame head coach. Actually, I'll take that back.
He stole money.
If all the other coaches in the NFL retired,
Yeah.
and the NFL hired only one head coach, and it was Tom Herman.
Todd Herman.
I think Freddie Kitchens could be a future Hall of Fame head coach.
Yeah. No doubt.
That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
Did we get more context on
Freddie questions? No. I have Brian in the chat. Brian, if you have any NFL, NBA questions, any questions regarding the playoffs, if the Browns make the playoffs, anything regarding sports right now, we're taking questions. We're going to go live on YouTube for about 5 more minutes. Kyle comes in and says, surface level question, but he's definitely still literally eating at the table.
I agree.
Yeah.
Freddie, if you had a camera right now on Freddie Kitchens, he's definitely eating. No, but what is he eating?
What is he eating?
Freddie Kitchens seems like a type of dude that just has turkey and gravy, no mashed potatoes.
I think he's the type of guy that doesn't leave any of his foods apart. Like almost throws everything. Like he just gets like one of those big bowls that like were meant for mixing, like for cookies when you're cooking.
Oh, yeah.
And he just mixes it and blends it all in. I think he's that guy.
Yeah, I can see that too.
Yeah, he's pretty disgusting. We got Taylor coming back in. Will the Cavs ever get good again? Or are they been on the same level as the Canton Charge?
Oh my God. Oh my God.
That's a pretty good one. I know how passionate you are about the Cavs, so go ahead. What's going on? Joe's in the chat.
Until the Cavs draft a good player, primarily LeBron James Jr.
Yeah.
Or acquire LeBron James, the answer is no.
No. I don't think they'll ever be good again.
I don't think we'll ever be good again.
No.
And
not under this ownership.
No. Who's the worst owner?
James Dolan's the worst owner.
Oh, I'm just saying Cleveland.
Who's the worst owner in what? In Cleveland out of all three?
Yeah, all three.
Oh, well, I mean, it's definitely not the Indians owner.
You don't think it is?
No, not at all. No, the Indians are good anyways every year. It's unbelievable.
They're not going to be good next year.
Well, maybe it's just their coach. I mean, every year. It doesn't matter what's going on. The Indians have by far the most stable organization in Cleveland.
I agree they're the most stable.
Yeah.
I'm not disagreeing, but definitely the cheapest owner.
Oh, he's the cheapest owner, but that doesn't mean. But he's not like Cincinnati Bengal cheap. Like we could have still had like World Series. Like it's a different level of cheap. Like cheap because you're so confident in your skills that you don't need as much money to get the job done. Because that's what isn't that what the Marlins did this year?
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. So I don't think that they're on the same level. I think the Cavs are the worst.
I think the Dolan family as a whole should never be able to own any franchises. I mean, they own the Knicks and the Indians.
For sure.
They're just I don't like them.
Yeah. Yeah, not to get to New York, that's my fault, but yeah, he's really bad. And I think Jimmy Haslam has to be second. I'm pretty sure he still has so many court cases pending. So he has to be 2, right?
Yes.
How many court cases, like seriously?
Over under 10.5.
So a coach jumping in the Lake Erie is sufficient. Yeah, that was pretty rough for us. We went 1-31.
Remember when Hugh Jackson guaranteed we'd never go 1-15 again? I mean, he was right.
That's a rough guarantee, isn't it?
But he was right. We didn't go. We went 0-16.
Man, that's almost. You have to try to suck that hard. Like, how do you? Like, I don't understand how we got to that point. And I think that's why I'm so upset at Browns fans right now that aren't okay with us being 7-3, because we're 7-3 right now, and we haven't done that in forever. And so, like, it's unbelievable. Because I remember how bad it was. We were 1-31.
Corey Coleman dropped a wide open pass.
All right, Taylor. Yeah.
We were bad.
Yeah.
We were really bad. You guys got 1 minute to get any other questions in here. Sam wanted to address that his Freddie Kitchens question was actually a statement. He's saying Freddie Kitchens is a Hall of Fame coach.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he is a Hall of Fame coach. Right in there with Marvin Lewis and Jeff Fisher. He's definitely a Hall of Fame coach. We can put Bill O'Brien in there too.
As long as Andrew Sandejo's in there for most valuable player.
Yes.
Which, by the way, 20 seconds left. Andrew Sandejo, I hope he gets COVID and doesn't travel anywhere near the team. I hope he never steps on the field again for the Cleveland Browns. He literally speared a man last week for no reason.
No, and he acted like he was tough. Like, you're not tough if you have to get people to say, hey guys, I'm tough. Like, if you have to tell somebody you're tough, you're not tough. Let's just put that out there.
I mean, listen, I need to refrain from roasting him so much because Sam actually has his jersey.
No, he's terrible.
then you need to tell Sam to sell the jersey he bought of Anderson Dejo.
Yeah.
It's actually a disgrace that somebody in the city of Cleveland wears the number 23 and is so bad. Did you think about that? Because that's really bad.
I'm sorry. I'm giving people are signing off, telling them thanks for coming in.
Oh, yes.
You guys are going to have to catch us at 4 o'clock on those 2 games. I'm sorry.
On Tuesday.
Yeah, on
You'll
Tuesday.
catch us on Tuesday at 4 o'clock. When I have some good half-hour headlines, too.
Yeah, and Thursday. Kind of in a weird spot in sports right now. We got to wait to get past this weekend.
I know.
I'm excited to see some of this stuff come in. Anything else? I don't think so. I think we've been live for an hour and 30 on YouTube, guys. Hey, every Tuesday and Thursday, we go live. We do Cover Your Balls. This is just our 3rd episode. And this was a very untraditional episode with a couple things we had. Oh, my gosh. Today, who is the glue of the defense?
I think it's just time for us to sign off.
I think it is time for us to leave. Hey, guys, it's been real. Every Tuesday and Thursday at 4 p.m., I'm Jordan McKelly. We're out of here.